Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Beth, here to help you fulfill your potential in meditation. As most of you know, I don't have just one method that I teach to everybody, like one size fits all. Instead, I much prefer to teach people one-on-one. And the reason is that you're all different. So please use these videos as a guideline. And if there's anything that isn't quite working for you or anything that doesn't quite fit, then be in touch and I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you individually. Today's video is about discerning what we call verbal intimation kalapas, and these are the kalapas that are responsible for our speech. So they're really important kalapas. Now obviously this video is going to make a lot more sense to you if you're already familiar with discerning the kalapas, and especially if you're already familiar with discerning mind-born kalapas. Now I've made a separate video on discerning mind-born kalapas, so if you haven't done so already, I'd suggest that you watch that video. But not only watch the video, also do the practice if you can, because this video is going to be much more intuitive to you if you're already familiar with discerning those mind-born kalapas in practice. Now, if you are already familiar with discerning mind-born kalapas, then you will know that these are kalapas that arise throughout the body, directly produced by mind. And verbal intimation kalapas are another type of these mind-born kalapas, namely those are the kalapas responsible for our speech. So how does this work? Well, when the intention to speak, when the intention to say something arises in the mind, that intention produces kalapas in our vocal cords, and those kalapas produce the sound that we call speech. So that intention to speak creates kalapas in our vocal cords that creates the physical reaction of speech. So how do we discern this in practice? Well, if you've already developed the jhanas, then a good place to start is by entering the fourth jhana until your concentration is nice and strong and stable, and then practicing 4 elements meditation until the kalapas are nice and clear throughout the body. If you haven't already developed the jhanas, then you can start with 4 elements meditation again until the kalapas are nice and clear throughout the body. And then we want to bring our attention to the vocal cords, and we want to discern the 4 elements there until the kalapas are nice and clear in this area where our vocal cords are. Now, in order to discern the vocal intimation kalapas, we need to be able to make sound. So this isn't the right meditation to do if you're in a meditation hall, for example. You need to go outside and go to somewhere where you can make sound. And when we start discerning these kalapas, we want to make a sound that is very, very subtle. If we make a loud sound, a strong, coarse sound, it's going to be more difficult at first to discern. So we want to start with a very gentle sound, like a buzz or a hum, like something like this, a very gentle sound. Now, we discern the kalapas here in our vocal cords, and as we make the intention to make that sound, the kalapas are going to arise in the very same moment. So as we make that intention, we don't want to move our attention away from these kalapas in the vocal cords. As we make that intention to make the sound, we will notice kalapas arising here in the vocal cords with the earth element predominant. And it's the earth element that makes that banging on the vocal cords that makes the sound. Earth element will be predominant, and wind element will also be there because the wind element is creating the movement in those kalapas that can do the knocking. Now, we want to start, as I said, with very gentle sounds, but when we're confident in seeing these verbal intimation kalapas, then we can start with more regular sounds, maybe normal speech and words. And this can be a really powerful practice to see if you can discern the kalapas arising and passing away here in your vocal cords as you speak. It's not easy, but it is possible. So that's what I have to say today on discerning the verbal intimation kalapas. It's a really interesting stage of practice. So what I would suggest is get off of those screens, get onto the cushions and start giving it a go. If you're encountering any difficulty, if anything isn't clear for you, then be in touch. I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you individually. As most of you know, I do all of my work on a donation basis, so I encourage you to support me either through my website or through Patreon so that I can continue to make these videos. Thank you so much for your support. Wishing you the best with your meditation.